Hey, it's Corey Brill from The Walking Dead. You know me as Pete, the jerk of a surgeon, and you're listening to Creech.
Hi, this is Alexandra Breckenridge, and you are listening to Creech Questions.
Hey everybody out there, welcome back to Creech Questions. I am your host, CJ Creech, and in the background is The Irma and Louise with our theme song, East Virginia. You can check out more of their music at theirmalouise.ch. Now we have got a great episode lined up for you today, guys. We have got Alexandra Breckenridge, finally, yes, I know. Brecken Creech is alive and well in this podcast. We will be talking to her and Corey Brill, who played her husband Pete on The Walking Dead. We've got an amazing episode for you, which also happens to feature, sadly, the last episode of the Walking Dead Wrapup for the near future until the show returns from its too long hiatus. And before we can get into any of that, of course, we got to do the shout-outs.
You give me a gift, bam! Thank you note. You invite me somewhere, pow! RSVP. You do me a favor, wham! Favor returned. Do not test my politeness.
Alright, for the shoutouts today, it's kind of going to be a little catch-me-up since, I had one podcast last week. We only did one part. We were going to do two on the way back from New York, New Jersey, but we decided to do just one, and I was going to catch everything up in here. If you didn't listen to the podcast last week, there was a lot of big information that we revealed. But before we go ahead and get into that, I do want to do some shout-outs, obviously. And my first shout-out's going to be to Eric Jensen and his wife, Jessica. And, of course, their little daughter, Sadie, as well. They are some of the greatest people that I've gotten a chance to really get to know. They're truly friends at this point. And I can honestly say I have this podcast to thank for that. If you go all the way back and forever ago, almost to the beginning of Creech Questions, Eric was a guest on our podcast on episode 18. And after that podcast, we have since developed a friendship that is going strong to this day. And I was honored and blessed enough to get to stay with him at his place in New York and get to know him better and get to know his wife and let his and my daughter play around. And it was really, really awesome. He's a really cool guy, and I want to give a shout out to him and also his wife, who is also an actress, but isn't just an actress. She is also a writer. And she's got a couple books out now, which you can and should definitely check out. I'm actually reading one of her books right now called Almost Home, and it is really good. I don't normally read books like that in that kind of genre, but I gave it a shot, and it's actually really, really good. You should definitely check it out. Once again, the name of that book is Almost Home, and it's by Jessica Blank. She's got another book out that they're actually turning into a movie. So you should go ahead and read these now, and then go see the movie, obviously. But they're very smart people, and they're very nice people and kind people. And I'm honestly looking forward to my next journey up there so I can spend some more time with the Jensens. I mean, come on, we should just go ahead and... I brought my camera last time because we did play Cards Against Humanity, and it was hilarious, but I didn't record it. I know. We will record it next time. But I feel like just bring the cameras up there and do the new hit reality show, Hanging with the Jensens. It's just an idea. It's formulating in my brain, but we'll figure something out on how to do it. But no, Eric and them, in all honesty, is just some of the greatest people that I have gotten a chance to get to know. And already looking forward to the next time. Next shout out is actually to both of our guests for completely different reasons. Alexandra obviously, is a total sweetheart. She's a talented actress, and even though she didn't really want to promote it on here because she doesn't do it that much anymore, she is an amazing photographer. You can actually go to her website, alexandrabreckenridge.com, and check out some of her prior photography work. Now, we've been working on getting her on the podcast for a while. As you know, we are AMC Press approved, but we still encounter hurdles sometimes. And she's just been so busy. We were actually originally supposed to have her on the podcast back before she even joined the show, The Walking Dead. But she's been so busy with her personal life, and congratulations to her. She did just get married. Now, this is a short one, obviously. We did do it at New York, New Jersey. However, me and her did set up to do a longer by phone one. She is excited to be on it, and she was really excited to do this quick interview that you're going to hear today. And she actually did a couple more questions than we were slated to do because she really wanted to answer some. And she had a blast, and once again, thank you to all those out there who ship Breckenridge. She got a kick out of that, especially since all of the negative shippers out there who've been hating on poor Jessie and Rick. So, thank you to those who shipped Breckenridge. I do appreciate it, as I'm sure she does as well, especially to be getting positively shipped. Now, the second part of our interviews today, and also the second part of this shout out to our guest, is to Corey Brill. Corey, I've seen at 2 previous Walker Stalker cons and never gotten a chance to talk to him. It's just always been crazy busy, and New York, New Jersey was no different. However, after he called in on the podcast 2 weeks ago to wish Vernon well, I finally met him in person, face to face, and got to talk. And he did an interview with us there. He wanted to do an interview with us, so we definitely did it. And then after we did the interview, he wound up coming to Eric's house, and we all hung out and had a blast. It was just a great time overall, and I got to know Corey personally more than I did. And it was just an absolute treat to get to spend time with these actors and get to pick their brains and find out all sorts of stories and, be accepted as part of the quote-unquote family. Now, before we get into the Walking Dead wrap-up, I did want to catch everybody up on the news. If you haven't been listening, I know usually people don't listen to the Walker Stalker Con There and Back Against. I mean, they do, but not as many people, just because there's no celebrities on there. And one of our things is celebrity interviews, so I do get it. But we've got a bunch of guests coming up. Once again, this whole past month and a half, 2 months, really since Walker Stalker Con Atlanta, we have been slowly transforming from just this sole Walking Dead centralized podcast into a podcast more aimed at a wider genre of not just horror, not just Walking Dead. We're going all general entertainment, and with that in mind, we've got some great upcoming guests. We're currently working something with Robin Lord Taylor, who you know as the Penguin on Gotham. He was also in the movie Accepted, and obviously he was in The Walking Dead. We're working something with Ben McKenzie's people, who played Detective Gordon on Gotham, for an episode, which is another amazing coup for the podcast. Now, we did just announce that the week of January 8th is Dave Sheridan's first podcast as co-host. So it's about to get a lot funnier here. And to celebrate one of the first couple episodes of this new co-hosting with Dave, we are going to have Marlon Wayans on. Yes, the Marlon Wayans from the Wayans Brothers, G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra, all the scary movies, pretty much all the hilarious and good parody films out there. So it's going to be a great time to be a Creech Questions fan. And that brings me to Creech Questions in and of itself. We will be doing a little bit of name change since it won't just be Creech questioning anymore. But we are working on the name now, me and Dave. But it's going to be a hell of a time. I think all of you are really going to dig what we're doing. And I'm excited for everybody to see it. It's actually going to be really, really cool once you get to see all of what we've been working on. And I will leave you with a tease, which is what I teased in that podcast as well, if you missed it. We've got another guest that's coming up. Now, this guest is big, huge. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, we've had on this podcast so far. And I do want to drop some hints to who they are. One, they have nothing to do with The Walking Dead. Does not mean they are not a fan of The Walking Dead. They could very well be one. But they are not currently and haven't been on The Walking Dead in any capacity on the show as a character or walker. Now, this person was in a cult TV show movie and also is currently on a TV show that's been running for multiple seasons now on a major network. And the last hint I will give you, which is actually the craziest one, this guest has a huge following on Twitter. Now, you look at Norman Reedus, who has about 2.3 million followers, and you look at Steven Yeun, who has about 1.3 million, around there. Now, this guest has more than both Norman and Steven combined. Yeah, this is pretty big. Now, I'm really excited to reveal who it is, and that will come in due time. I've already got some people, even Alyssa, after the wrap-up, was like, oh, what, who is it? But everyone out there who's been listening and supporting me, you'll find out soon enough. I thank you for everything. It's weird knowing that in 2 weeks, the podcast as we know it's going to change. The Creech questions that we started in January of 2015 is going to be completely different in 2016. So stay tuned. This is just the beginning. Things are starting to get really big, really fast. And I honestly just want to thank all of you out there as this final shout out that I'm adding after the fact. Thank you, because you out there have been watching the videos. You've been listening to the podcast, downloading the podcast, talking about the podcast, spreading love about the podcast. And without this interaction and without all of you, I couldn't be doing this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am completely honored that you chose to listen to me. Little old me. Now that we've caught everybody up, in case anybody had missed anything, here is the final edition of 2015 of the Walking Dead Wrapup.
This is all connected. You show up, and now 3 of us are gone.
Why'd you bring us here? This was the thing that took the whole county. Big room. What happened?
I'm trying to remember what my choices were from that podcast. I listened to it this morning, and then I promptly forgot all of my picks.
Yeah, I know you had Morgan and Tara. I know that for sure.
I had Morgan and Tara.
Yeah.
Was it Glenn, Morgan, and Tara?
Well, we talked about a lot of wild cards. Because we couldn't decide, because there were so many people that we thought would die. We talked about Abraham, which I still kind of think that might be true.
I'm still pretty mad, because I originally mentioned that I was going to put Deanna on that list, and then I took her off at the last second.
Yeah.
I shot myself in the foot. Yeah, I should have trusted my gut, because right now, I'm sitting at a giant goose egg in deaths. Technically, I could have been right on one of my picks for 2 episodes until they revealed that Glenn didn't die. But I'm looking pretty bad because Glenn, Tara, or whoever else I picked. What was the third one again? Morgan. There we go. Glenn, Tara, and Morgan are just they didn't die this first half.
I had Deanna, and that was true. But then I had Jessie, which I still think is going to happen. But my third one I didn't know because I was having such a hard time deciding. And I still, well, now that I know how Morgan is played out, I might just, that might be yours. You know, yours will finally come true because we talked about him a little bit, and we thought he was going to be like a Daryl type figure where everyone was going to like adore him. And that's not the case. Everybody a lot of people hate him, including me right now. So, might still come true.
Yeah, I will say that it seems like, unfortunately, you're just knocking your predictions out of the park, and I'm pulling for strings here, just hoping at least one of them dies, because right now none of them seem any less dead.
Right.
And I predicted this. This was the prediction I got right 2 weeks ago when I was like, watch, yours are mostly going to be right and mine are going to be wrong. And here I am. All my people are still alive. I know. So I can add official death pool creator to my list of things I'm horrible at.
Oh, my goodness. You might get better. You never know.
Well, the only way for me to get better is if for to be an especially bloody second half of the season.
Which I think I think it will be. They've made a lot of promises, and I know that's just the nature of the show, too. So, I mean, it's going to happen. If it's not when it comes back, it will definitely be, like, finale-worthy.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Negan's coming for sure, and hopefully that can at least knock out one of my choices.
Right. Yeah, I feel like they've been kind of, I mean, not to say they haven't killed people, because they have, but I would have thought with all the stuff going on around them that there would be, like, a lot more deaths. You know, profound deaths, I guess I should say. But we've had a lot of smaller deaths. I don't know. Can they go much longer without killing anybody big off? Because it's reality. I mean, not everybody can make it, and that includes our characters, because we've thought of Walking Dead as like, oh, no one is safe, but sometimes it feels like it's getting a little safe. I hate saying that, too, because, yeah.
I mean, no, you've got a point. It definitely, they need to keep that element of danger. I mean, I'm trying to think right now, and our last big main character that we lost was, Tyrese and Beth back-to-back. I believe Tyrese being the last main character we've lost. And that was now, as of this episode that's coming up, that would be a full season.
Right.
Because he died in episode 9. Because I don't really count Reg as a main character, and even if Jessie dies, I don't really consider her a main character either, or anybody from his family a main character. So it's like, honestly, what they really need to do, but they're not, because they're golden goose and they're cash cow, is they need to kill Daryl, because Daryl is the most predictable character on the show, and every time him even more so than Glenn is always escaping these death, defying situations that looks like nobody's going to be able to get out of.
Right. Yeah. And we talked about that kind of. We talked about Daryl, and you kind of mentioned you don't foresee them killing him until, like, they know the end is near. But, like, I don't even think then. I think they'd kill him before. I mean, I do have to give them some credit. I can't say that, like, the back half of the season and then now that they've gone soft. I'm not going to say that because it is still dangerous. But there's been some moments this first half of the season that I'm like, all right, people have died when there's like 3 walkers or 1 walker, like Tyrese. And then we have here a giant thousands of walkers and like not that many people are dying. But I think it will pay itself off in this next episode because now they're in the thick of it. So it's like really, I mean, come on, if people get out of that, like a lot of people, I'm going to be like, okay, come on, how is that even possible? Come on, guys.
Well, I don't think a lot of people, and see, this is the one thing where they play around with wording. They mention words like Robert Kirkman has already said that the next episode is going to be very bloody and that there's going to be a lot of deaths. But when you hear that at first, you're like, oh gosh, this is going to be bad. But then when you think about it, there's a whole town full of basically red shirts that we don't know anything about. That could very well be who all dies.
That's true.
And so then there's still all this chaos, and we're seeing people getting torn apart by all these zombies. But it's people that we don't know anything about that maybe show up for 1 or 2 episodes at most.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want to wait.
I know. That's what everybody's saying. It kind of sucks.
And honestly, I'm worried for the show. I feel like they need to kill Daryl, or at least somebody big, because I feel, the show's not getting any younger. Now it's 6, going to be 7 seasons long at least, which is, 7 years of time. And if they, don't change up the formula and do something major, there's a chance that it could go downhill very fast. And case in point, the mid-season finale has been the worst reviewed episode of The Walking Dead ever.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, okay, we have to give them credit, though. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves when thinking that, oh my gosh, they're not killing enough people. We have to think, like, throughout the whole season, they have done quite a bit. So, killed a lot of people, a lot of main characters. So it's like, we've only had, how many episodes? Almost the whole season now where they haven't killed someone. But it's like, when you look at the big picture, they have really killed off a lot of people. So it's like I have faith in them still. I think they'll come through, but I think the big change will be Negan. I don't think necessarily, and with that will come more death, but I don't think they necessarily need to kill people off to get the show going, but just introduce more diverse characters. And we already have that, but Negan is just the most diverse and complex character that's going to step in, and I think that will bring new life to the show, really.
Well, one of the things that I foresee happening with Negan is obviously there's going to be a major shakeup with that, but I also feel that AMC is possibly going to take some risks with the show. When you think about it, they took a risk again this season with making 8 episodes cover the span of 2 days at most?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were complaining about Glenn taking so long with him not revealing him for about 4 episodes to find out what happened. But I don't know. That doesn't really bother me. When people always complain about that, I remind them, well, look, it took 8 episodes just to find Sophia in the barn. Honestly, I think whereas a lot of people, I have been reading up on it, A lot of people are saying they don't like this season. And it seems to be a general consensus that it's not a good season. I think the reason people are saying that is because when you think you're watching 2 days worth of stuff happening over 8 weeks of time, so that's a long time to be invested in 2 days. But once this comes out on Netflix or once you watch it on DVD, it'll be so much better because at that point it's back to back, no commercials, and it'll flow better. I think it's going to play better on the on-demand and I guess presentation than it does when you're actually watching it live, just because of the time wait. And then, unlike when the Glenn thing happened, you had to wait 4 weeks to find out what happened with Glenn. With this one, if you're watching it on Netflix, that episode happens, and then 2 or 3 hours later, you find out what happens to Glenn. So there's not that long of a wait, which won't make it as frustrating.
Yeah, that is a good point. I did have a friend that did exactly that, and I told him specifically, I'm like, hey, you didn't even have to wait. I mean, you didn't have to go through the agony of trying to know if Glenn survived or not. So yeah, that's a really good point. And speaking of that, these mid-season breaks are like ridiculous. Since when did shows start doing that? They never used to do that, right? I mean, this is a fairly new thing, and it's kind of annoying.
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think The Walking Dead was actually one of the first shows to do that. Because I remember when Season 2 was airing and they announced that there was a mid-season break, everybody was like, mid-season break? What is this? What is, and everybody's completely blown away about why they were doing this, and they were angry at AMC for doing it. So it had to have been one of the first shows to do it, and now it's almost a common, plot device to do this, to, expand or extend the run of shows. I know Gotham's doing it. Gotham did it, Empire did it. I've seen the commercials for those that they were doing their fall finale or whatever. So it's got to be something fairly new. But yeah, I agree. It does suck. I don't know if they're still doing that fight whatever for Fear the Walking Dead. I haven't been checking on there. At least that would be an extra 45 seconds of Walking Dead every Sunday. But they are officially in production on Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. So at least
that's
now,
really awesome. I'm excited for a longer Fear season. It just wasn't enough. I liked the new zest it gave the whole Walking Dead universe. I liked it. So now I'm interested because now I know they're shooting in Mexico, and they are, on the waters. So I'm just kind of interested to see what they're going to do.
Oh yes. Now, since there's really nothing new to review, and we do want to make it a decent timed Walking Dead wrap-up, we can go over some other news, and this is kind of spoilery-ish. Well, not really, not if you know what happens in the comics, but Lauren Cohen has been spotted with a short hairdo now. So
I saw that. I posted that, and I love it. Love it.
She actually rocks the short hair pretty good, I must say.
She does. She's beautiful, whatever she does. She could go bald, and I would be like, wow, she's the sexiest woman on the planet. I could not pull off a bald or even a short do like that. So, yeah, she looks great.
But, yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap the final Walking Dead wrap-up.
Welcome back, guys. Yes, it is true. Like I said, I accurately predicted that I was going to be wrong, and I was. I guess it's not really a bad thing, though, considering that nobody died, at least that I picked, so I guess that's the flip side of that. But, we'll see if they can survive that second half soon enough. Now, this first interview tonight is going to be with Alexandra Breckenridge. Once again, Alexandra is a total sweetheart. Loved her in American Horror Story. Love her in The Walking Dead. Here is the one, the only, Alexandra Breckenridge. Hey everybody, welcome back to Creech Questions. I am here with Alexandra Breckenridge. Thank you for joining us for a question.
Hello.
This has been a long time coming, but you've been on The Walking Dead now 2 seasons, and you've done plenty of action-packed scenes so far. What would you say would be the hardest and most stressful scenes to film so far?
Well, if you're up to date on your episodes, the last episode, 608, was pretty stressful, pretty hard. Being surrounded by that many zombies is a little unnerving. So, that would definitely be it at this point. It was pretty scary.
And just before we go, would you say it's more stressful than everything you dealt with on American Horror Story?
I would say that I'm more emotionally invested in this character just because the last character was emotionless. But doing some of the stuff that I had to do on American Horror Story was hard. I mean, I had to, bite a man's penis off and have my butt in cameramen's faces and stuff like that. So that was hard for its own reasons. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next up is Corey Brill, who you remember as Pete, a.k.a. the Nerdist-appointed porch dick of The Walking Dead. I've already talked about how awesome Corey is. He's a great guy. This is a great interview, so enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome back to Creech Questions. I'm here with Corey Brill, who everybody remembers as Pete. How are you doing today?
I'm so great, CJ. How about you, man?
I am doing pretty good. It's now second day of Walker Stalker Con, New York, New Jersey. How has it been so far?
So much fun. I did 2 panels yesterday, and they don't that's the first time I've gotten to do 2 in a row, so I felt really like I got to relax by the end of it,
I saw a little bit of that. I noticed the promotion of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, for some reason I grabbed a case of Mountain Dew before I walked out there and decided to promote that the entire time.
Yes, everybody had their thirst quench, so it all works. And I'm guessing Coke is the promotion of choice today.
Yes, I enjoy a Coke with my Walker Stalker convention. That's right.
All right. And now, in your spare time, you are a avid beekeeper.
That's right.
Can you tell everybody out there a little bit about that?
Sure. I've been beekeeping for about 5 years now in Los Angeles. As far as I know, I'm the only beekeeper in downtown Los Angeles, which is kind of a fun little fact. And it's cool because they just this year made it officially legal to keep bees in the city of Los Angeles. For the longest time, it's been illegal in the city, but legal in the county, which makes no sense because the city is in the county. It's very confusing. But yeah, I love it. It's great. And it's the perfect hobby for me because the longer you do it, the less time it takes. So
that is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, what made you get into that?
I had a friend who was looking into it just as a hobby, and he had a backyard. And I was like, well, that's safe for me to read a book about it because there's no way I can do it. I live downtown. I don't have a yard. And then I learned about the idea of you could keep them on a roof. I ran into the landlord of this building, Eric Jensen.
Sorry, I disrupted your shot.
Oh, no, you're
I've
good.
got him tonight. He's coming over. Are you going to come?
I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to. Anyway. So I asked the landlord if he would ever even consider it, and he said he would think about it, which surprised me. And then I swear, a week later, I get into the elevator. He's there, and he says, there's a swarm of bees 15 feet from the front door of the building. If you can get them, then you can have them. So I went and got them. It's another story in and of itself.
That sounds like a pretty epic story, though.
It was fun.
And now, you were on The Walking Dead for 6 episodes? Okay. And you did everything from getting to fight Andrew Lincoln to slitting somebody's throat. What has been your favorite memory of working on the set?
like work-wise, as far as like what scene was my favorite to do, was by far that fight scene. It was so much fun. I mean, that took 2 days to actually shoot. But that's the kind of thing, like when I was a kid watching like westerns and things, like that's what I want to do. I want to get into a fight like that and like not really hurt myself. I've always wanted to do a fight that starts in one place and ends in another, and that's what that was. So that was my favorite. But as far as like just in general, I mean, I know you've heard this from everybody, but like it's actually true that the cast, the crew, down to every driver and caterer is so cool and supportive and friendly. So it's just like a wash of good memories for me.
That is awesome. And how is it getting to see your old work family again each time at these conventions?
Yeah, that's something that I had no idea was going to be the case. It didn't occur to me. Even when people said, like, once I got the show and people were like, oh yeah, you'll do the conventions. It didn't really occur to me that, I'd be seeing Alexandra like once a month. You know, like it's so neat that it continues beyond the length of your experience on the show. It's a really neat thing. I love it.
All right, and now since you've left The Walking Dead, you've got other projects going on. Is there anything else you'd like to promote? I know you were in a play recently, right?
Yeah, I did a play down in Costa Mesa, California last year, and I've been doing a lot of audiobooks that are on audible.com, which are fun to listen to. There's a good scary one on there called The Troop. It's kind of a Lord of the Flies meets this Boy Scout trip. It's very good. And I did an episode of Scorpion on CBS that was fun, and we'll see what happens next. I'm reading a lot of scripts and doing a lot of auditioning.
All right, awesome. And just lastly, if they don't, which they should already, of course, follow you on social media, where can they check you out on your official channels?
Yeah, I'm not on there very often. I'm terrible at it, but I am at Brill Corey on the Twitter machine, and on Instagram, I'm Cbrizza.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Of course, CJ.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those two interviews as much as I did actually getting to interview them. Now, next week, we are going to have some more guests. I will reveal one of them right here. And later on this week, I will decide and announce who will be joining this guest. Our guest for next week is actually going to be a return guest who we haven't had on in forever. As a matter of fact, he was our second guest ever on the podcast. We are going to have the awesome and super cool Lou Temple joining us again next week. So you're going to want to check into that. And once again, keep your eyes and ears open. There's going to be a lot of big stuff coming out about Creech Questions and Creech Creative in the next couple of weeks and months. You can make sure you follow us on our official Facebook page at facebook.com/Creech Creative Productions. You can follow me on Twitter at CJCNOV88, Instagram and Tumblr at Creech Creative. And you can also check me out on my booking agency's page, where I'm repped by Heroes on Hand. So type in Heroes on Hand, and you can find out all you want. If you are listening and want to book me to moderate your panels or anything like that, get in touch with me, what have you. You can get in touch with me through that webpage as well. Also, CreechCreativeProductions.com. Now, that is going to be the only channels that you can access me right now, but there will be more coming soon. Obviously, we are opening up a store on Creech Creative Productions very soon where you can buy all sorts of Creech Question stuff and Creech Creative stuff, including a documentary that's just getting ready to be released. It's called Phoenix Rising, the story of Kevin Phoenix. And Kevin is a professional wrestler that, if you go back on the podcast, we've talked about going to film a couple of times. We're finally at the end of this. This has been a long journey. The documentary chronicling his life and career so far, and including one of his biggest matches, is going to be out on Christmas Day. Now, you can actually pre-order that from Kevin Phoenix right now, and once the Creech Creative Store is up and running, you can purchase it from us as well. And it's a really great, a really great documentary that's going to give everybody out there an inside look at what it's like to be a professional wrestler. Now, I will reveal on here that there will be voiceover work done by one of our former podcast guests and one of my friends, Jordan Woods Robinson, Eric from The Walking Dead. And you're going to want to make sure you check that out. Once again, that comes out December 25th, Christmas. So, until next time, guys, until we see you next week with Lou Temple and another surprise guest, that's going to do it for Creech Questions.
Hey y'all, this is Lou Temple. Rick Nicotero.
Patty Miller.
T-Love. Sarah Jensen.
Emma Bell.
Big Chen. Vincent M. Ward. Jeff Cobra. President Pablo Cantillo. Danny Robot. Lawrence Gilliard Jr. Lester Carbonell. Harold Parano. Daniel Thomas May. Ellen Moss.
Sarah Wayne Callies.
Chad L. Coleman.
I'm RJ Bay from Breaking Bad.
Bates Gonzalez. AMC's Comic Book Man.
The Walking Dead, and you're listening to Creech. Creech Questions.
You better listen up good or I'm coming get you.
Hey everyone out there, this is CJ Creech, and you too can listen to our celebrity interviews on our podcast, Creech Questions. Check us out on CreechCreativeProductions.com and Facebook.com/CreechCreativeProductions.